Yeah, you can open.
We can start. Open up. Good evening, everybody. I welcome all of you for this special event of ECONGO's first press conference on this day, that is 15th November 2016 at COP22, Marrakesh, at the backdrop of all the high-level events are scheduled. My name is Dhanya Nambiar from India, working as a subject expert in climate change mitigation and adaptation project. We have wonderful speakers here, but before introducing the speakers, let me give you a very brief account of what ECONGO is all about. ECONGO stands for Education, Communication and Outreach NGOs. It's a new special community supporting Article 6 of UNFCCC and related capacity building recommendations in the Paris Agreement. ECONGO is made up of organizations and individuals interested in forging a broad, diverse, robust international community of professionals and enthusiasts involved with developing adequate response to climate change and related global challenges. ECONGO will aim to help address the current gap by helping facilitate effective climate-related education, training, public awareness, and engagement effort led by organizations and institutions that have not been well represented in the recent climate conventions and negotiations. ECONGO's mission is to clarify and amplify a shared vision for informed climate action through education, public information, and through outreach. ECONGO will serve as a supporting backbone for fostering climate literacy, knowledge, and know-how to make informed climate decisions at every level of the society. It will strive to work with Secretariat, parties to the Convention and Agreement, and all those in civil society who work to build long-term literacy through education, training, and information sharing. The very design of ECONGO is based on three-pronged approach of education, communication, and outreach, each with their own best practices and methods for measuring effectiveness. When efficiently integrated, threefold approach of ECO holds strong promise for more efficient, effectively inspiring and engaging professionals and public. With this, I introduce our speakers who are contributors for these three pillars of ECONGO, from education, communication, as well as from outreach segment. We have with us Mr. Lucas. Lucas is a student of ecology and biodiversity from Paris. He is also involved in French Students Network for Sustainability, of which he is now the vice president. He is following UNFCCC process for a couple of years and is now presenting his finding on NDC's implementation gap. Mr. Lucas, please.
Thank you very much. I hereby speak on behalf of the Young so the Youth Constituency ACE Working Group. ACE stands for Action for Climate Empowerment. I will start by presenting the work we did last week because it suits perfectly as an introduction to this meeting, to this press conference. Sorry. So we wanted to look at the inclusion of ACE in all the NDCs available. Basically, we looked at all paragraphs which mentioned education or related words like curriculum in all the NDCs. We looked at all these paragraphs and graded them. We graded all the NDCs, and from those grades, we managed to pull out this map. First of all, the first conclusion would be that non-Annex 1 countries are the one mentioning ACE in their NDCs. Also, Caribbeans, small island states, and African countries are the ones that are the most likely to use strong language on ACE with clear and defined plans of implementations. But still, most countries do not mention ACE or education or youth at all. Only 63 countries out of 169 NDCs were mentioning education. If these analyses do not relate with the national plans and the national implementation of ACE on the curriculum, this still shows a lack of acknowledgement of ACE in the future perspectives for all these countries. Also, another point showing this lack of acknowledgement and this lack of priority for ACE, for Action for Climate Empowerment, is the fact that it is still a homeless issue in these negotiations. To go further on this analysis, we also met with a lot of delegations during the past week, coming from European countries, North America, small island states, African parties, and Asian countries. We met with head of delegation or ACE focal points when there was one appointed. The first thing is most of these parties didn't even know that they had to nominate an ACE focal point. And when they did have an ACE focal point, most of these ACE focal points didn't know what to do for their mandate. They didn't have a clear mandate. And when they did have ID and projects, they did not have the capacity to do so. I think that it clearly shows how much we need this ECONGO group, because this ECONGO group can be here and provide the priority for ACE and could bring the capacity needed by all these parties. Thank you.
Next, we move on to our next pillar, that is on education. The pillar on education for ECONGO will be largely supported by educational institute, government and non-governmental organization. To talk about this in detail, we have Mr. Max Van, who represents Dutch youth organization and is an educator, taking the message of climate change to grassroots level. He has experience of working across the globe. Please, Mr. Max.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction. So what I think that's first of all really important to stress is that I've also worked together with Lucas in going to these delegations and identifying these issues also. Yeah, this could be really seen as an issue, what we see on the map. I think one of the things why countries are not prioritizing ACE is because it's often seen in isolation. Like ACE is really this only article, this small island, which is somewhere in this big UNFCCC process, but it's not often seen in interconnection with the other big topics. For example, in my opinion, ACE can also be a strategy to mitigate, for example, when we look at responsible consumption or those kind of things. Also, it can be related to adaptation or the other big pillars. So I think that's the first big thing that also could be a job of ECONGO, to get it like out of this isolation. Then also, seeing it in this more broader term, I think education can also be some kind of a foundation on which you can take more strong climate action. So also, like, if you really want to tackle this big problems like climate change, it's not enough to just be here in the rooms and negotiate. You also have to educate the people on the ground. And indeed, I worked pretty much on different continents. I worked in the Netherlands giving climate change education. I worked in Tanzania doing climate change debates at schools. I worked for 6 months in India on environmental education. And I think also what I've learned from these things, like really the moments when you see with children, with young people, that the mind shift like happens, when you get this sense of like, this is really important. I think you have to have this really a combination in learning between, like, it's not only getting information, it's also doing. Like, just learning is not enough, because then you walk out of the classroom and you're still not doing it, but only doing is also not enough. So you really have this thing, like it's learning to think in systems, that the world doesn't end at the end of your village, but that your actions have implications all around the world. It's also about the 21st century skills, about learning how to innovate, how to make better decisions. I think I have to wrap up quite soon. But also, education should also be seen as isolation, like in the formal system. Like, education is also non-formal education, informal education, and also this lifelong learning. So I think this it's really about this comprehensive picture, about getting the whole overview. And I think that ECONGO is really like this great opportunity to share ideas, like from different countries working on different parts of the globe, to really get this comprehensive view and this comprehensive education for sustainable development. So I really hope that this network of networks can really prioritize ACE, but also share ideas internally among educators, among communicators, and get it out of this isolation. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much. Now we have the strongest pillar of our ECONGO, that's the communication. We have Christina Stevens. Christina is an author and a filmmaker and has won Gold Lion at the Venice Film Festival and an international grand prize for her latest book, Love. She's the CEO of Thunderlight Communicators and is in the board of directors for the Captain Planet Foundation. Please, Christina.
Well, I'm following education, although, you know, everything is completely connected. But formal education, it provides a solid foundation, but where does it go to, like, touch your heart and inspire a revolution? It speaks to your brain, but does it speak to your soul? And so the thing is with communication, we can spread. It scales, and it's a capacity builder. So it allows us to access, especially today, we can access tools and information like we've never done before. And it can actually allow us to show a view of the world that is a positive view, that is our vision that actually can change people's lives and it can transform. Because if you change your feelings, you change your thoughts and you change your beliefs. And if you change your beliefs, you change what you do. You change your actions in the world. And communication is all about equaling action and moving us into action. But it's because it's not a force of will that will change us. It's conscience, it's curiosity, it's passion, it's love. It's love. And it's simple truths and human interest stories, because throughout culturally throughout the entire world, storytelling has been at the core of change. It's been at the core of letting us see who we can be, what we can do, where we can move on the planet. So I want to kind of share with you a few of the ideas that some of our associates have been working on. With IAA, they have conceived of a global youth music contest that they play every year. They have this competition every year, and it asks youth to tap into their universal language through writing songs, making videos, and the grand prize in the contest is to come to COP and perform. In Indonesia, there was a village, actually quite a few villages, that lived off their staple diet were these little monkeys. And they ate the little monkeys, and they'd been doing it for decades and decades. And then a young filmmaker came in and decided we needed to stop this because these little monkeys were about to become extinct. So he made a film on the little monkeys. It was a sweet little story, and he showed it to the children. He went into the schools and showed this film to the children. The children saw the film, they fell in love with the monkey, and they didn't want to eat the monkey anymore. So you know what happens? Children change their parents' actions. So the children told their parents they weren't going to eat the monkey anymore. And so as time went on, reluctantly, the families decided they had to find a new diet for themselves because they couldn't eat the monkeys. 25 years ago, Ted Turner came up with an idea called edutation, because he realized that no one was teaching the children in schools anything about the environment. They didn't know anything. They didn't know what was happening, but we all knew. We all knew way back then. We all knew the minute we came in with plastics that we were doing something unnatural to the planet. So, and with edutainment, he came up with Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Now, that ran 25 years ago, and today those little children that were plonked in front of the TV watching this cartoon are now out there in the world doing some amazing things all over the planet. In Thailand, they're leading beach cleanups. In New York, they're measuring the waterfall all over the world. In Australia, they're actually looking at and mapping up in Queensland, where we have this beautiful coral reef that is about to just kind of die. It's dying as we look at it. And today, CPF, the foundation of Captain Planet, are now out in schools. They're installing gardens in schools all over the world, teaching children about nutrition, how to get outside and start being out there in nature, how to be good environmental stewards with the planet, learning eco-literacy and getting all sorts of kits to measure water and to look into the water capacity and clean water all over the planet. And I myself have a love activist site where you go there and wherever you are in the world, you plug it in and you say what you're doing. You say the act of love, the conscious act of love that you're doing today, either loving yourself, loving your family, or loving the planet. Because we don't do anything, we're not going to get anywhere on this earth without that. And at the Directors Guild of America, I'm part of a group who are beginning a climate change commission, and we're going to be having a very large event there where we're going to be talking to filmmakers, and filmmakers are going to come in and not to teach them how to have a green set, but actually to discuss with them and to bring some truths to them how they can bring climate change and global warming and everything that's happening on the planet into entertainment, into daily entertainment, and into the conversation that we have every day. So these are what we're doing to spread the word and to start reaching out there. So I want to say communication to you. Don't fence yourself in your NGO. Don't lock yourself up. Don't shroud yourself. Be unlimited. Reach out. Join us at ECONGO. Inspire us and let us inspire you. Support us and let us support you. Because together we can build a voice that can bring positive change forever on the planet.
Thank you, Christina, for that. We heard from the real communicator, the real communication. Now I pass on to our outreach representative. She is Anita. Anita is from Switzerland. She represents World Alliance of YMCA, which is one of the largest movements for youth in the world. Within YMCA, she is part of a resource group on environment and now in charge of a delegation of young people from all over the world. Anita, please talk about.
Thank you, Danya. We are here with the YMCA with a delegation of 10 people, and we are happy that we could bring committed people to this conference. But we do not stop here. We even have a larger delegation at Green Zone because we want to reach out to as many people as possible and to get them involved. Outreach is important, as it is the way to get people motivated and engaged. There are different ways to reach out, and we all do it somehow. Maybe you write an article or a blog post about COP22. Maybe you use the hashtag AceNow on Twitter, or you share links on Facebook. The internet is a good way to spread the word and to strengthen our network. But we have to be aware of its limitation. You may be able to inspire people through virtual communication, but it will only touch the surface. And even more important, only a limited number of people have access to the internet. If we really want to reach out to people, we have to get close to them. Outreach is about interaction. The YMCA is a global organization that works locally in 119 countries, where many different projects are done. I would like to give you an example that shows how outreach can be done in concrete. The YMCA Lebanon started the Young Environmental Leaders Program to empower young people to serve as environmental leaders, raising awareness and implementing activities that protect the environment for future generations. These young leaders are provided with skills and training tools so they can be effective organizers in their communities. Many projects like this are done in the YMCA on a local level, and we also have international projects. We host Camp Climate during COP, which is a place where young people can stay, no matter whether they have an accreditation or not. Workshops are hosted at Camp Climate to educate on climate change. The YMCA, as a youth organization, has the advantage to be able to translate messages so young people will understand them. Outreach is not only about telling things, it is also about listening. We have to be aware of the existing knowledge to communicate in an appropriate way. But not only the YMCA reaches out to young people, a lot of organizations do so. If we work together as partners, our outreach will become even bigger.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you. It's a good, inspiring words on outreach. So hence this ECONGO, the challenges are so vast and wide. In fact, it is a network of networks. So building those networks is really challenging. However, now the ECONGO is in a very formative stage. It needs talent. It needs collaboration of individuals and organizations, of artists, scientists, educators, professionals, and learners from all walks of life. It requires climate finance experts. It requires journalists. It requires politicians. It requires ministry officials. It requires everyone. So we need people to build up this ECONGO, to develop it as an expert team who will foster the future climate challenges. It will need parents and their children. Most of all, we need you to step up and contribute to your skills and insights to helping foster an informed and engaged people for the planet. Thank you so much for giving us the space. With this open invitation, we welcome your questions as suggestions.
Yes.
Yes.
Tim Damon.
Good evening, thank you. My name is Timothy Damon. I'm from the United States, and I'm founder of a new organization, the Global Youth Development Institute, which will focus on ACE. ECONGO sounds very exciting, but my question for you is, what would be the tangible value added or the concrete benefits that my organization and others would enjoy from joining this network? Because we're already very well connected with the negotiations, with other NGOs and actors. So what does this new network, which you're launching tonight, really add for us? Thank you.
Max, can I ask you to answer the question?
Yeah. So I think there may be, on this question, 2 points where I think there's really this added value. For example, I also am here as a Dutch youth representative. I also have a well-established network here. But still, if I want to get ACE prioritized, if I really want to get steps forward, you need the network. You cannot do it alone. You need at least a quite big group to make sure you put forward on this together. Well, I can do it with ECONGO because I'm still young, but for your organization, it's probably better to do this with ECONGO. ECONGO, it's a network of networks, so then you can put your points, prioritize ACE together with the others. That's really the only possible way to, in this big UNFCCC process, to get it done. Secondly, it's also that it's a network of networks. It's also about this sharing of ideas. It's about sharing of experiences on how to do things back in your country. So I think that's also a really important added value. So I would say these are the first thing.
We're stronger together.
Any other question? Can I call upon Mr. Jan Climates?
Hi, I'm Luciano from Brazil. My country is on the list of not having ACE on the NDC. We have appointed a focal point in Paris, and I agree with what you're saying, but I'm asking what would be your recommendations to countries, because from our point of view, what we are lacking right now is structures, so focal points can have a space to firstly see what is happening and then putting forth a action plan, because if you work only on the focal points, you'll be like on that scenario that you're saying. Most of them have no structure at all, so they could say, okay, thank you for information, but I cannot do anything in my country. So, yes, that is my question. Thank you.
So, well, first of all, yesterday the UNFCCC Secretariat released the guidelines for implementing action for climate empowerment. It's a quite long document focusing mainly on the on how to implement ACE on the national level, how to create law text to implement ACE in the curriculum, in formal education, how to improve public participation and public awareness. In terms of ACE focal points, we suggest, as a result of our analysis, our meetings with delegation, that ACE focal points from every country, every party, should meet more often, should share their ideas. To do so, we organized a workshop yesterday morning where focal points could meet, could identify the challenges they were facing to implement some ideas they already have. They could share ideas for people that would need some ideas to somewhere to start. And if you want more detail, we have a policy paper that has been released because I've been told that the time was running out.
Look, I know we're running out of time, but I just want to add to that we are planning, because ECONGO is a group of people with multiple talents and is expanding daily because we're just launching it now. We're planning virtual workshops that we can all tap in together. That's a perfect question to bring into the conversation.
Thank you.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Call to action.
Yeah.
Call to action.
Yeah. We
Where's
have
your
a
last slide?
We have a slide.
Okay, put it on.
Yeah.
He's cutting us out. Okay. Do you want to read it out?
So any query regarding this ECONGO, you can send a mail to climatesecongo@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook. You can connect to this Facebook group, and you are always welcome for any query. We have the focal point, Mr. Mark. Send a mail to him. Thank you so much for your presence. Thank you.
Come join us. We need you. You need us. Thank you. Okay. Very good. What?
So now we announce Bureau Clock.
That's very good. Sure. What are you disappointed in?
You did.
No.
You did.